Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to The Edward. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be doing a multi-episode review here for the first 4 episodes of Peacemaker I did on an episode by episode basis. The last 4 episodes of Peacemaker I thought, oh hell with it, I'll just do like one review video covering all 4 episodes, talking about highlights and low points and whatnot. My life has been all over the place lately. This is a very busy time of year for me with work, with my personal life. Nothing bad, mind you, just very full, very busy. And sometimes I just don't have the time to watch my shows and upload my reviews in a timely manner. So I do apologize for that. Thank you so much for bearing with me and being patient. I really do appreciate it. You guys mean everything to me. I love my subscribers, and I appreciate each and every one of you for your support and continued watching it. So thank you so much. I do apologize for the delay, but here I am to talk about the final 4 episodes of season 2 of Peacemaker. Now, if you're currently watching this show and you weren't you weren't watching it along as it drops new episodes for the past month or 2 months or so, you don't want to keep watching or listening to these reviews, as I will be discussing spoilers. I realize a lot of spoilers about the season 2 finale are out on the internet right now. But if you're currently watching or binging it and you don't want it ruined for you, you don't want to keep watching and listening to this particular review, because I will be dropping big spoilers about the final 4 episodes of season 2 of Peacemaker. So let's go and we'll start in order with episode 4 and then work our way down the line after that. All right, so spoilers starting now. Thought it was very fitting for Red St. Wild, Michael Rooker's character, to meet his end at the talons of some very angry and justifiably angry eagles, especially after he murdered that poor innocent eagle. For a second there, we all thought was Eagly, but they were like, oh, thank God, no, Eagly's got some kind of possible magical, mystical powers. I mean, this is the DC universe, and magic does exist here, so it's very possible that Eagly isn't a regular eagle, and he does have supernatural powers, like the ability to summon other eagles and have the same eagles attack and rip Red St. Wild to pieces. Very fitting end for an eagle hunter, I think. So Michael Rooker plays a good bad guy, and it was very fitting and satisfying to watch his end come swiftly as it did at the talons of some very angry eagles. So that was pretty cool. The big twist I kind of had ruined for me, where it's revealed that in this alternate dimension, which seems perfect, and Peacemaker's dad and brother are both alive and super loving and supportive. I figured there was going to be a catch, but I just didn't know what it was. I kind of had those twists ruined for me in a way. Well, not in a way. I mean, I saw it online, but when I saw it online and then I saw it on the show, I was like, oh, no way, that's what happened. I'm like, wow, of all the things to be wrong with this universe, I did not think at all that was it. Where apparently in this world, the Nazis won World War II, conquered the earth, and everybody now lives under this Nazi-type regime, and all the people of color live in internment camps, which would explain that pretty terrifying sequence we got with Keith and an angry crowd chasing after Adebayo, as she looks absolutely terrified, running from them. Even Keith yells out, "One got out! A black got out!" And you realize, oh shit, this is a racist world. Now, what I was pleasantly surprised with is that out of the superhero trio of Peacemaker, his dad, and his brother in this world, it seems like the Peacemaker in this world and his brother were both more racist or unpleasant people than their dad was, because he seemed quite the opposite of the DCU version of Augie Smith, where this version was extremely level-headed, sensible, reasonable, and even though he lived in a world occupied by the Nazis, he himself was not one of them, and did what he could to fight injustice wherever he can alongside his boys. Now, it sounds like the other Peacemaker, the one that our Peacemaker murdered back at the beginning of the season, was kind of a piece of shit and seemed to follow the Nazi regime rules and had drug problems and stuff like that. So it seems like he wasn't a perfect guy. Even Augie acknowledges that while they're holding Team Peacemaker captive. He even tells his brother Keith, like, you know, I loved your brother, but he wasn't perfect. He had his demons. He had his problems. Keith's all about that vengeance. It's like, you murdered my brother and you've been pretending to be him this whole time. Of course, anyone in Keith's position would be justifiably riled up or angry like that. But what the real tragedy of that episode was Vigilante, who, in his defense, probably thought Augie was the same kind of Augie as in the DCU, attacks and murders him in his own home, thus traumatizing an already very traumatized Chris and now Keith, angering an already irate Keith. And then them badly maiming and wounding, almost killing Keith, sending Peacemaker into just this super depressed haze, was just heart-wrenching to watch. And John Cena and David Denham, everybody gave exceptional performances in that episode. And it was really phenomenal to watch. Oh, before I forget, going back to the previous episode before, I liked how they handled the conflict, or the unspoken conflict, between Rick Flag Sr. and Peacemaker, with him beating the hell out of Peacemaker, allowing him to believe that he was acting irrationally and emotionally, when in reality he was very much focus-driven and focus-driven and goal-oriented in his mission the whole time, which we didn't really know what his mission was until the season 2 finale, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But that whole episode where the alternate Augie dies and they brutally maim Keith, leaving him behind, alive but barely, and then Chris becoming traumatized, the group being fractured, and then he's taken captive, they bail him out. Also, in James Gunn's defense, I think he was particularly proud of how the season 2 finale turned out when it was all put together, edited in post-production and whatnot. And perhaps he was proud of the story and the groundwork he laid within it as well for future stories in the DCU. I think he was so proud of it. It's just why he hyped up the season 2 finale as much as he did. Even though, like many of you, I was pretty let down and disappointed with it. Like, we got no cameos from any of the Creature Commando characters like he teased and kind of not promised, but heavily teased or implied. No cameos from Superman or any other Superman characters who appeared in the film, the blockbuster film earlier this summer. It was pretty cool seeing Lex Luthor again in Belle Reve, but making a deal with Flag about, exploring other worlds and whatnot. So that certainly laid the groundwork probably for the Superman sequel, Man of Tomorrow, coming to theaters in 2027. And I could understand why many of us were disappointed by the season 2 finale, but you know what? It is what it is, and it could have been much, much worse. I personally liked it. I was disappointed by it initially when it first came out, and I thought, well, that kind of sucked. Not much really happened. Yeah, the group came together to support and help Chris, and now Chris finally is with Harcourt, but now he's kidnapped by Argus goons and then pretty much banished to a whole nother world, which apparently was Flag's mission the entire time, is finding a world amongst those dimensions where they can send metahumans who can't behave or control themselves. I did like how they mentioned both Arkham Asylum and Belle Reve when Flag was making his pitch to the powers that be about all the breakouts that keep happening. So they need a place to send metahumans where they won't pose a threat to the physical world. And of course, to test that theory, he snags Peacemaker, throws him in there, and of course throws out, "This is for Ricky," referring to his son, who he murdered in the Suicide Squad. So now Chris is trapped in this other world, and the rest of the 11th Street kids have no idea about it. They don't know where he is. Not even Eagly can find him. and we aren't getting a third season anytime soon, so I'm very curious and very excited to see what stories James Gunn has in mind for the characters and the cast of Peacemaker, as most of them made it out alive this season, formed their own intelligence agency, disavowed Argus. Where they could pop up next, who knows, but we have to keep watching DC projects in order to find out. So I, for one, am very excited about that. I did like that Salvation reveal. I didn't know much about Salvation myself until I read about it later after the season 2 finale, and I thought, ooh, interesting, a metahuman super prison. I wonder what that could mean for the future. Only time will tell. So in short, I enjoyed these 4 episodes of Peacemaker. The whole season itself was fantastic. A big improvement over season 1, which isn't to bash season 1 because I love season 1, but overall a massive improvement that told quite a spectacular story and had some really funny, action-packed, and heartfelt moments like any good James Gunn project has. So well done, Mr. Gunn, and to the cast and crew, we salute you and thank you for a solid season of Peacemaker, and can't wait to see what you do with these characters next. What did you guys think of these 4 episodes of Peacemaker? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you expecting more, expecting less? Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are down below in the comments section. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Peacemaker is now available in its entirety, streaming on HBO Max. Have a great rest of your night, guys, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.